Mark?
Hi, James. Can I just ask a question on behalf of sort of the retailers have been really sort of raising the money to help the staff? Could you just tell the staff what your plan is with this in terms of pay the staff, etc. Will they get 100% of what they're owed?
It's very interesting, Mark. I thought, given the last 9 months' experience, the staff didn't expect pay. Sorry, that's a very inappropriate. I mean, the intention is, and we haven't finalised discussions with the PFA. I mean, you know, the PFA will take decisions on behalf of no one, and if we go ahead, we'll pay for each staff member to get legal advice on the proposal. So there's not going to be anything sort of coerced or pushed on people. But in terms of the arrears, if we're successful in buying the club, we'll pay off 100% of the arrears that have been incurred to staff and players. Some of that will be upfront, and the rest of it will be spread over a period of time. And we're still in discussion with the PFA over that period of time. And then, to the extent that we generate exceptional unbudgeted profits in terms of player sales or income from FA and so on, half of that will be reinvested into the club and half will go to accelerate the payments to staff. In terms of pay going forward, I mean, clearly we'll pay people on the due date. I mean, it's not that difficult for an employer to pay people probably on the right day. So we'll do that, and clearly we will accelerate the October payment date and the payment the upfront payment to the date of, or as close thereafter, the day after the date on which we take control.
In the past week, it's been, I believe, stated by yourself that you're going to absorb Argyle into the Acheron Group. How far will that go? And in doing so, will Argyle's finances still be transparent?
Yes, I mean the football club will be owned by a separate limited liability company whose accounts will be filed. They'll be filed on time. When we say absorb it, wasn't actually making a point. But I thought I was going to get a laugh with the Peter Ridsdale statement. What I was trying, I mean, there's a corporate structure. We have a family investment company which will own the shares in an intermediate holding company, which will own some other interests that we have in the shares in Plymouth Argyle Football Club. What I was trying to say is that what I don't want people to think is that we will have one rule for the 2,000 other people we employ in the UK and another rule for the employees of Plymouth Argyle Football Club. They're part of the Acheron family, and we'll treat everyone appropriately.
Hi, James. Two things really. I appreciate what you said about your football knowledge from before, but I think everyone would agree the infrastructure of the club has been stripped right back and is lacking and has become very unprofessional. And obviously, we've got a threadbare playing squad at the moment. What can you say in terms of initial funding to sort of try and get the club, back competing on a level playing field, so that we can maybe buy a couple of players, or again, I mean, I don't know the ins and outs, but for example, the scouting network for finding players across the country. If we're going to compete against teams across the country, we need to have that sort of infrastructure. Again, anything you can say on that at this stage?
Yeah, I mean, very happy to answer that with the benefit of the ignorance that I have, if you know what I mean. It's not really my bag. As a sort of general, I mean, clearly every effort needs to be made to avoid relegation to the conference, and the clock's clearly ticking. I mean, we've got a problem that we need to try and sort, and I don't know whether we can sort it or not. And clearly the danger, again, if we do get relegated to the conference, is revenues fall and you get into this, it's sort of heading in the wrong direction. The advice that I receive in terms of the playing squad that we have at the moment is that the core of it's actually pretty good, and you don't need to make a huge number of changes to that squad to start winning. And I think well, we'll see in a couple of hours, won't we, as to the impact of the management changes. But going forward, again, the advice that I've received is that without huge additional investment, that the club can trade up to the sort of Championship, League One area, to sort of League One Championship club naturally, and it probably, without big investment, is not a Premiership club. And what I'd be very honest with is if someone wants to make that investment to take it to Premiership, it will be our successor rather than us. I'm still looking at it very much as this club's been going for 125 years. I don't know how many owners it's had in that period. We are the custodian of the club if we're successful for a period of time, and then what we will clearly at the right point to hand over the baton to someone else. We'll try and make sure that it is someone who shares the same values that we share, but hopefully richer and even more passionate about football.
Just going back to what you did say about Mr. Ridsdale, and again, I'm going to be shot down, but I take your view as well that I think to a certain degree he's been good for us in that he's brought the problem to to the fore, etc. Is the door definitely closed on? Bearing in mind, as you say, you do need a very good football administrator now. Is the door definitely? Has he closed the door, or?
Well, we've absolutely not closed the door, and again, it's a bit presumptive, assuming that we do end up owning the club. But I've absolutely not closed the door. But what I have said is that to work with Peter or indeed any other chairman, that decision needs to be taken by the board of directors who are properly appointed. I mean, football governance is lacking. We'll probably get into trouble for this, but it demonstrably is lacking in my view. And if the first thing that we did was to go and ignore proper governance of having a board of directors taking decisions, and I went in and took all the major decisions and then handed to the board of directors and say, catch, you now take responsibility for what I've created. In my view, that would be the start of some very bad rot. So if Peter did, and I don't think he will, but if Peter was willing to put his hat back in the ring, I'd love to work with Peter. I think he's got a lot of skills.
Anyone else?
James, the council, have they indicated what the timescale is for buying back the ground? And is a deal dependent on them buying back the ground to go through?
If I take the latter point first, I mean we've been very clear that we would not make the investment without the council alongside us. I mean I think as a principle, it's nothing to do with football, but I think in the Northwest, for example, there has been great demonstration of the private sector and public sector sorting out problems together in the community, and I think that's a model that we do need to bring more down to the Southwest. So it is contingent on them playing ball. I think in terms of the specifics with the council, I shouldn't and can't comment on that, but my strong hope and expectation is that we should close the acquisition and clearly start funding everything from the middle of this month. That's the aspiration.
Okay. Anyone else?
No,
Anyone else from the question for James? You want to wrap it up? Good, sorry.
Yeah, James, you mentioned earlier about schools and the community. In the past, the club have always been really good kind of supporting our youngsters in education, whether that's foreign players going into the classroom with languages or coaching. How do you see, if you are successful in kind of continuing that and developing the education side of things?
I genuinely haven't had enough time to sort of work that through. I mean, in terms of an aspiration, what again we're looking for. I mean, Plymouth Argyle Football Club is very important to the peninsula of Devon and Cornwall, and it is. And it's important, in my view, that it's saved and that it thrives. And to do that, I think it needs to carry on. It's clear, given the age range here, that it is doing it, but carry on generating the next generation of Argyle fans. I mean, from my standpoint and my family's standpoint, as I say, we're temporary custodians of a club that we want to see. Well, I won't see it, but hopefully my great-great-grandchildren will see in further 125 years, celebrating its 250th birthday.
Thanks for that, James. Just as a matter of procedure, when we exit the end of the meeting, Gary's asked and Mark have asked that if everyone could leave straight out the exit there, the taverners are going to turn this room round for the Fans Fest within 10 to 15 minutes, so we need the room emptied if that's okay. Just in close for us today, obviously to thank James for coming. It's been a great session and obviously a real good, valuable opportunity for all the fans to hear what he's got to say, and for you to be able the ability to question him as the contingency plan committee have done over the last 6 months or so. But today we need to start getting things right back on the pitch. Today is about, number one, is about fans reunited, where we've got thousands of fans, hopefully from all over the country, coming to Argyle to support us today. So we need to show them just how passionate, just how lively, and just how vibrant the Green Army is today. Secondly, we've got the prospective new owner to stand. We don't want him to think that we've sold him a dud. We've been telling James for months now how passionate Argyle fans are and how loud the home park is and that what a cauldron it is when it's at its best. So that's how we need it to be today. And the fans trust the leaflet in every turnstile, so you get a leaflet going in. And what we're calling for today is 90 minutes of non-stop support from the team. Whether you sit in the grandstand, the Devonport, the Mayflower, wherever, we're looking for everybody to get behind the team for 90 minutes today. And third, and finally, is this: we need to get beyond a new management duo. Carl and Romain have been loyal servants, playing servants to this club, and they deserve our absolute 100% support today. So in some ways, today is the start of a new era. We're not there yet, but it is a very special day for the club. We took the task and we had the ambition as a fans trust and as a group of fans when we started this out and when we formed as a contingency. We clearly felt that our club had been taken from us, whether that was not physically but in heart. We didn't have any involvement at the club for 4 to 5 years. We were completely cut out. Decisions were made in a dictatorial fashion, and the fans had no say in this club. So our ambition was to take our club back. Today, I believe, and the Fans Trust believes, we're on the brink of getting our club back, and that's what it's all been about for us. We're very, very proud to address the meeting today. Now let's get in there and let's give it hell for 90 minutes. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.